We also had 1,100 knives that we were handing in that we'd taken off the streets. And Mr. Khan, he refused to come out and accept the knives. And he refused to take the letters off of the same bereaved mothers that he'd been on the news proclaiming that he supports.
Coming up later on in the show, I'm joined by registered nurse and public health advocate Twyla Braze. Twyla co-founded the Citizens Council for Health Freedom to defend patient privacy, resist overreach in health data systems, and protect individual choice in medicine. International speaker, author, and founder of Pure Energy Healing Academy, Mark Bieski, is on the line to discuss current world events and how they're being designed to break us spiritually. But first, Courtney Barrett is a grassroots activist and founder of Binning Knives Saves Lives. He engages with at-risk youth and runs knife amnesty programs in East London. His work focuses on grassroots solutions to knife crime and building community trust. Courtney, great to speak to you. Just how bad has knife crime got in London? Because there seems to be a lot of people like yourself obviously saying this is an emergency, yet the Mayor of London seems to disagree. Everything seems fine in his world.
Well, around about 4 years ago, I declared that it was a national epidemic, but now it's a national emergency. You know, it's everywhere. People are afraid to step out of their houses in London now. They have to take their kids to school, and people are scared all day long, worrying if their kids are going to turn up home from school and what's going on at school, what they're learning at school, other than the education that the teachers are teaching them, you know. There's so much going on surrounding knife crime. That's why at Binning Knives Saves Lives, we have 11 tactics that we use to reduce knife crime. Using our 11 tactics, we managed to reduce knife crime by 34% in Waltham Forest in the space of 6 months, whilst knife crime rose in every other London borough. So our tactics are proven to work. But now, as time has gone on and the government have ignored knife crime, it's got worse and worse, where I believe you need more than 11 tactics now. You need loads of stuff going on now. It's ridiculous. And the first place we need to start is the whole justice system needs overhauling. It's outdated. It's ridiculous. If you go to most courts nowadays, you feel like you're in 1960, 1970 on the set of Rumpole of the Bailey. You know, it's 2025. The court systems, the justice system need to move with the times and catch up with the times. They are so far behind, it's ridiculous. The sentencing is just a joke. It's a slap on the hand. You know,
what are your 11 tactics? What are the main things that you identify?
Well, the main things are we first of all we spread awareness and we educate. That's the main thing that we do, yeah, which makes a difference. So we have different tactics. We go door to door to target parents, so we can educate parents, make them aware. And then parents, because 70% of knife crime is committed using kitchen knives, parents then decide to bin their knives, their excess kitchen knives. So we don't ask anybody to bin their kitchen knives, all of their knives, but we just suggest that you should only have 2 or 3 that you need. Because if your kid's scared or decides to take a knife from the kitchen drawer to school, you won't notice if one's gone missing, you know. So these are the little tactics that we do, and we ask parents to check their school kids' bags and check their kids on their way to school before they leave the house, and just double check your kitchen drawer before your kid leaves for school, just to make sure your child's going to be safe, you know. So that's one tactic. We have other tactics. We go and visit gangs, and we're genuine. We offer hope. We're not the authorities. I speak their language, so straight away they see you're genuine. You offer them hope, and you give them ongoing support. Whether we put them into work placements or to courses, and they stay out of trouble. You know, they get away from the gang life and they stay out of trouble and they have a different mindset. You know, other tactics, we go to schools, educate the youths, you know, same kind of thing, change their mindsets. Other tactics are unify communities. So I would go to the church and I would go to the mosque and I'll get them all in a meeting and everyone together talking. And then you find out that the religious leaders in communities are one of the best people to go to when you want something done about knife crime, if for ethnic religions. So say there's a lot of Muslims in my area where I live, and Asians from all over the place where I live, you know. And so if I want to get through to that community, I need to speak to the imam at the mosque or a community leader. You know, that's the people they listen to and respect. You know, so I learned this pretty quickly when I first started. So I started making sure that I visited religious leaders and uniting them as well. So there's so many tactics. The obvious tactic, which all the press focuses on, is the fact that we take knives in our bin. But the thing is, we don't take knives off people. We educate people and give them the choice to bin their knives. You know, there's a difference. If you've got a knife amnesty bin and someone comes and puts their knife in the bin, yeah, they probably are going to pick a knife up 2 weeks later or whatever. But if you educate people, they put their knife in the bin for a reason then, and they never pick up a knife again. You know, and it's not hard. It's not hard. You just need a little bit of time from people in the know, people like myself who are on the streets day to day, you know, and strong role models and mentors. These are the people that can help in the communities, but these are the people that are seemingly ignored by the actual authorities, you know. They have their own little cliques where they fund their own little charities or whatever, that are just plodding along and not doing whatever much use to society or the community, but that's where they plough their money into. But the things that really need money ploughing into them get forgotten about. This is where we're at now. It's 2025, and everybody, the whole of the country, seems surprised and shocked at what's going on in our country at the moment. Am I the only person here that's not shocked? I can't be.
What got you into it? What inspired you to start the organisation? Because obviously, you know, there's lots of people in London that are like, you know, if you've got eyes to see, right, you can see that things aren't right. But obviously, you've gone way on to the next level in terms of starting an organisation and going into communities. What was it? Was there a particular event that inspired you to do that?
At the end of 2018, I lived in Waltham Forest, yeah, and in my borough was, I think it was the second worst borough in London. It might have been the first, but in that year, I think it was the second worst borough. And all the police disappeared overnight. There was 260 police in my borough, and then overnight there was only 80 police officers. And there were also 4 police stations, and overnight there was only 1 police station. And at the same time this happened, there was loads of violent crime going on, especially in Waltham Forest. A lot of it was on the news. And then you had Jada Moody getting stabbed. Then Jodie Chesney got murdered. Then Ricardo Fuller, all within a space of a couple of months. It all went crazy from there on the streets. And it was obvious to me that we need to unite as a community to start fending for ourselves. So I went online and I thought I'm good at uniting people, to be honest with you, and I'm good at thinking of, shall we say, media tactics. So I was completely unknown. I was just a single father of 4, and I thought, how am I going to get noticed by the media? So I went to a police station in Walthamstow with a banner saying "More police, less knives." I didn't actually use the banner in a photo, but I took a photo of me smoking a big spliff. It wasn't actually a spliff; it was a big roll up. But I posted it on Facebook and on the socials saying that I'm smoking a big spliff outside the police station. There's no police anywhere, and reporters got hold of it, and it blew up from there. And then within I think it's about a couple of weeks, I had a load of following on Facebook who came and joined me, and we had our first event on May the 4th, I think it was, 2019, was our first on-the-road street event where we went out with the knife amnesty bin, and we had ITV join us. We was on the news, and then since then I've been on the news so many times I couldn't tell you. I've been on the news in nearly every country in the world, including mad countries like Iraq and Qatar. But God knows why they want to not care about London knife crime. But so it all blew up from there. And then COVID happened, so it slowed down a bit, but we were still out. We were still allowed to go out. So we were still out, but it wasn't as productive, really. It was a bit harder. And then after that, after a while into COVID, money dried out because we've never had funding. We've never had a penny from the authorities, from anybody. Every penny since the start of Being Knife Saves Lives has come out of my pocket or has been donated by my followers. You know, we've never had a penny, and donations during COVID just literally stopped completely, to the point we was getting about, I think we was getting about £26 a month in donations. We just couldn't work anymore, so had to close down Being Knife Saves Lives, and it was really bad because after that, knife crime kept rising again, and then I decided a few months ago that I'm going to start it up again because it's just got so bad. There's two reasons. Because the knife crime's got so bad, and I'm somebody who can actually help and maybe help and do something about it. So I need to put my abilities forward on the table, you know. So there was that reason, and then there's the reason that a lot of the bereaved families who are supported, they're like my family and they're like friends, you know, and you feel like you've let them down a bit and stuff. So, yeah, I wanted to come back and do the best for them as well, you know, because everybody forgets the families, the bereaved families, and what they're going through, the daily nightmares and turmoil they're going through, and they don't get any support whatsoever. You know, and it's horrible. If you only got to meet one of them, and your heart just bleeds. You know, horrible. You don't know what to say to them. There's nothing you can say. You know, they're the most unfortunate people in our society, and they don't get any help or support whatsoever. So I try to do what I can for them. You know, so last week, good news, guys. Last week and the week before, we managed to send 2 of our bereaved families away on holiday. So we raised some money to send 2 of our families on holiday away on much needed holidays. So that's the kind of thing we do for them, because they matter, you know, but they get forgotten about, especially by the authorities. We went to City Hall where Sadiq Khan, he knew he was coming. We had police officers there waiting for us. We was there with MPs. It was a big announce. It was announced well ahead of time. Everybody knew about it. We was all there, and Jodie Chesley's mum and Ricky Hayden's mum were both there with a letter. We also had 1,100 knives that we were handing in, that we'd taken off the streets. And Mr. Khan, he refused to come out and accept the knives. And he refused to take the letters off of the same bereaved mothers that he'd been on the news proclaiming that he supports. You know, and this is he's a disgusting person. He lies through his teeth, and that's how it is. I don't listen to anything on TV about him. I'm telling you from my experience. Yeah. You know, I did meet him once not long ago, and he was extremely rude and arrogant, and it was so clear that he doesn't care about knife crime. We all know this, I think, but it was clear to me he was actually clueless about knife crime. If he did care about knife crime, he wouldn't have a clue what to do. Because when you don't care about something, you don't pay attention to things to want to care about it, you know, to do something about it.
Why do you think they don't care? Clueless. Why do you think the authorities don't care? Because you're doing what they should be doing. Is that what you think it is, basically?
Yes, all he cares about is ULEZ charges and bicycle lanes and, you know, eco stuff and all this. That's all he cares about. And it's all a lie. It's all a big fat lie, because now half of the parks he wants to turn into flats, you know, and he wants to build 40,000 flats only for Muslims. And he's causing divide in our country, and he's causing issues, and he's lying to get there and do it. You know, even now, I think this morning, I saw a report with him talking about we need more migrants in London. You know, like, has the guy lost the plot? Is he completely loony? Who's voting for him? I don't get it. I just don't get it. You know, but strange. I feel like he wants more Muslims, so he's got more voters. You know, he wants more immigrants from abroad because he gets more voters. That's what it is. It's all about money, power, and voters. That's all it's about. He doesn't give one iota about Londoners or London. Sorry, I had to mind my language there.
No, you're all right, mate. I can imagine wanting to swear when you think about Sadiq Khan, to be honest with you. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. I'm sure if you're watching this, you're very much aware of the growing surveillance state emerging all around us. Whatever you do, you're being watched and your data being harvested. This is why Glenn and Eric Mader formed the Privacy Academy. Join the community designed to help overwhelmed, non-techie people like me learn how to get private online. Head over to privacyacademy.com/Ike and learn how to exit the surveillance state with regular webinars exclusively for you. Now, back to the show. What can be done, do you think, to kind of bring everyone together? Because I know what you're doing on the grassroots level, you know, talking to kids, talking to parents and stuff. But in terms of the community in general, because as you say, with London, it is divided. I mean, the whole country's divided at the minute. What can we do as kind of, you know, sane voices, I guess, in the conversation to try and get more people to unite?
I think he's gone past that. We had our chance, but they've orchestrated it and they've made it worse. You know, we had all the BLM thing going on. We had our chance. You know, it's just got worse and worse. And now, just everywhere you look, there's racism. There's racism thrown at you everywhere. You're just seeing it all over the place, you know, and it's all crazy and pointless. And it's just all orchestrated. When the thing is, I deal with knife crime and community safety. And to me, knife crime affects everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, what colour you are. So I unite people, yeah? So I unite everybody from around the nation to try and reduce knife crime so that we're all safer, you know? And it doesn't matter if you're black or white, red or blue, Tottenham or Arsenal, it doesn't matter. We all unite as one to achieve this goal. And that's what we do at Binning Knife Saves Lives. As far as this country's concerned and the racist issue and the political issues, the only way out of this is we need to get rid of the government. We need to get rid of the London mayor. You know, they've destroyed it. It's like Keir Starmer, just look at the guy. He's not fit for purpose. Like, when you look at him, does the title leader, does that strike you above his head? He looks like a pansy. He's not a leader. He's an actual idiot because, as you see when he's in America with Donald Trump, he's like a little idiot and he hasn't got a clue. And that's our Prime Minister, our leader. You know, and these are the people that the country are voting for. So really and truly, the country are at fault. And the nation have got what they elected, yeah? So there's no point in moaning and grumbling about it. What you can do about it is stop voting for these guys. But all that everyone in this nation seems to see is red and blue, when there's other colours. But because the other colours are so diluted, it's impossible for one person, you know? We've got reform now. And a lot of people are starting to vote reform. And in my mind, I would usually, my advice is always, yeah, better the devil you know. But in this case, give me any other devil, please. You know?
Where can people read more about what you do, Courtney, and maybe, you know, support what you do as well, especially if they are based in London? I know a lot of our viewers are based in the capital. Where can they find you?
Well, to be honest, I'm always on the socials. So I'm on Facebook. My name's CJ Barrett on Facebook. If you go onto Google and just put Courtney Barrett, the Knife Man, you'll find me everywhere and see all my documentaries, news reports, all that kind of stuff. You know, if you want to donate, I've got to get this in there, to bleed kits. As you can see, Daniel Baird behind me somewhere. And you've got to stop the bleed. So we're trying to get as many bleed kits as we can across the country. And we rely on donations. We don't get any funding. So please do donate at binningknivesaveslives@gmail.com. That's our PayPal, yeah, guys. binningknivesaveslives@gmail.com. I'm on Insta. I'm on Twitter. I'm on all of them, but I'm rubbish at the socials. I'm the master of Facebook, but I'm rubbish at socials, at the rest of them, yeah? On Facebook, I have all my Binning Knives Saves Lives family. So I've got all the bereaved mothers and all the families and all that on my Facebook. So I'm on there most of the time. I'm just kind of getting a bit handy with TikTok and I'm building up a bit of support on there too. But yeah, I think everybody should get in and join us and support Binning Knives Saves Lives, because what Binning Knives Saves Lives are, we are everybody across the nation united. So we're not we're a movement. So we've got different organisations. We've got the Ricky Hayden Foundation. We've got Saving Knives with Bleed Kits. We've got different people's. We've got Jodie Chesley's mum. You know, there's different people's families and different organisations and youth workers. We're a collection of the whole lot of these guys from over the country. So at the moment, we're in London. We're going to put as many bleed kits as we can around London. We're working with Reform UK to do this. Alex Wilson's helping us, and hopefully we can get as many bleed kits across London as we can. We've also got a drive that we're doing in Sheffield, starting in a couple of weeks. Due to the murder of Harvey Wilgoose in February, we are disgusted to learn that 9 months later, the schools are still debating and differing over whether to put life-saving bleed kits into the schools in Sheffield. So these life-saving bleed kits, let me just show you one. 1 minute. 1 minute, guys.
Yeah, no problem, mate. I don't actually know what's in these kits, so it's interesting.
We've got the bleed kit here. These are the same kits that the ambulances carry. So what happens when the ambulance arrives, it's too late because the person's usually bled out and died by now. So if we've got these handy, people's lives would be saved. So Harvey Wilgoose was murdered in school. He was 15 years old. He was murdered in a Sheffield school in February. And yesterday I found out that the school was still differing whether to put these kits in their schools. Like the council are differing about it. So we don't differ at Binning Life Saves Lives. I called an emergency meeting yesterday, and I've got a team together. And on the 17th of this month, I'll be travelling to Sheffield, and I will be joined with my team, and we will be launching these bleed kits in every single secondary school in Sheffield. Okay, so every school in Sheffield, if there's any kind of incident, accident, or stabbing, the kid's life can be saved, you know? And these cost £110, £114 thereabouts, you know? And it's nothing to save somebody's life. Harvey would still be with us today if one of these were in his school, you know? But yeah 9 months later, the council was still differing whether to put any of these in their schools. It's just incredulous. It's incredulous that people, the community, have to come together and do all this stuff. The obvious stuff that should be done by the authorities that we elect, you know, to keep us safe and to keep our children safe, you know.
That's the point, though, mate. I think that they actually don't care about us, but that's where, you know, we have to look after each other, and that's what you're doing, Courtney, doing a fantastic job doing that. So we appreciate that, and I would you know, urge people at home to check out Courtney's social media and see what you're up to, because, you know, something needs to be done about this. I feel like conversations about knife crime have gone on for decades now, and it just seems to be getting worse, and no one seems to be in government. No one seems to be bothered. Like, I genuinely don't think they care, which is mad to me. But that's why what you're doing is so important, Courtney. So appreciate it, and thank you for joining us, mate.
You're welcome, mate.
That's all for the free section of this week's Gareth Ike Tonight. To watch the rest of the show, you can head over to Ickonic.com, where I'm joined by registered nurse and public health advocate Twyla Braze, and international speaker, author and founder of the Pure Energy Healing Academy, Mark Bierski.
If you arrive at the airport today without a real ID, you will not be able to fly. So, you know, she has been willing to lie to push the American people, to scare the American people, to push them into this unconstitutional federal identification system that's going to be way more than flight, because the law allows it to be anything, and actually allows her to require it for anything that she wants.
There's entity energies, there's people, bad souls, bad people are trying to stop us from attuning to that. They're trying to stop us every day, and by hoodwink, fooling us, sleight of hand, poisoning us. I mean, I know it sounds like over dramatic, but truthfully, that is the truth. I really believe that we are under attack, and that is a spiritual as well as physical attack.
Please click the link in the description and head over to Ickonic.com to continue watching. You can subscribe instantly for just £1.99. Good night.